Hello students. In the last session, we were discussing about IoT design methodology, right? So we have seen these 10 steps, out of which I discussed up to step 4 by using home automation system, where we are trying to control the lighting in the home, right? So first step we have seen is purpose and requirements specification. So we have seen all these things, and then we have seen process specification, where we have seen this diagram, and the third step is domain model specification, where we uh, decide about what are the physical entities, virtual entities, device, resource, and different services, and we arrived at this diagram which represents the domain model for the home automation system. And then we have seen the information model specification, where for all the virtual entities we will be representing attributes and the relationship between these things. Okay, so let's proceed. So the next step is service specification. So for this service specification, we will use information from process specification as well as the information model specification. Using that, we will specify the services in the system. So while specifying the services in the system, we will also mention the types of the services, the input and output for that service, the endpoints of the service, and service schedule if any, and service preconditions and service effects. Okay, so you can see here, by using the information from process specification as well as information model specification, we will define services, okay, for every state as well as attribute which are present in this process specification and this information model specification. Okay, then what do the services do is they will either change the state or attributes or simply retrieve their current values. Okay, so this is the first service we are going to see. So this is the service name is mode, and the service type is REST. I think all of you remember in the first unit we have discussed about REST APIs, no? So this is a REST service, that is a web-based service which uses REST API. Okay, so this is web service, right? And this web service has a endpoint, and the endpoint is represented using this URL. So /home/mode. So the protocol we will be using in the application is HTTP for accessing this service. Okay, so and the service has input where the client or user will select the mode, which is auto or manual. Okay, and the output is based on the input. Whatever the user chooses, the output will be changed in the mode. Okay, either auto or manual. So this is the mode service, and next service is state service. Okay, on or off. We have state for light bulb, no? The light bulb state can be either on or off. Again, this is a REST service. That means it is a web service which will be running on the server, and out endpoint for this accessing the service is this one /home/state. Again, the protocol we will be using is HTTP. So the input is the user will choose either on or off in the application. Based on that input, we will have the corresponding output either on or off. The light bulb will turn on or off. Okay, and and the last service in this example is this controller service. Okay, if you notice here, the type of this service is native. Native means it will not be running on the server, it will be running on the device. So in this example, we'll be choosing Raspberry Pi. So this controller service will be running on the Raspberry Pi device. It's a computing device. Okay, that's why the type is mentioned as native. Okay, and if you notice, there is no endpoint for this service. Yes. Okay, so the user will not be accessing this service directly, so this service will be accessed indirectly. Okay, so when is this controller service accessed is whenever the mode is chosen as auto mode. When the user chooses auto mode, then this service will be accessed by the application. Okay, indirectly, so the user does not interact with this service directly. Okay, right, that's why there is no endpoint. And then, so this has something new called schedule. So if you see this, the interval for this schedule is, it will invoke for every 5 seconds. Okay, so auto mode means some sensor will be there and the sensor will be accessing the light intensity in the room for every 5 seconds by this service. Okay, so the input is the mode which will be chosen by the user, either auto or manual, and also the state of the bulb, either it is on or off. These two are inputs. Okay, so and the output is state of the light bulb, either on or off. That is based on the light intensity, the controller will decide whether to switch on the bulb or switch off the bulb. That is the output. So these are the three services. And moving on to next step, which is IoT level specification. So in the first step we have seen the requirements, right? So based on those requirements we will choose the IoT deployment level. Okay, and this is the IoT deployment level or IoT level specification we are choosing. So everything is on the local side, right? There is nothing on cloud side. So if you remember the requirements, the client asked us to create the application which will be hosted on local. That means inside the house itself, inside the home itself, the entire application should be running. So inside the house there will be a server. Inside the server we will have the web services which will be running. Okay, everything will be inside the home, but you can access the application from the internet also. So don't think that if everything is inside the home, so there is no use of internet, etc. Only we are not using the cloud for storing any data or something else, that's all. But even though all these things are in the home, inside the home, you can still access them through internet. Okay, right. So we have the sensor. So the sensor we will be using is LDR sensor for measuring the light intensity, for sensing the light intensity. Okay, and this is the device which is Raspberry Pi. Okay, you can use other devices also like Node MCU, Arduino, etc. But for this example we will be choosing Raspberry Pi. And we have resources like one is database, another one is communication protocols, and we have the controller service. Just a few seconds back we have discussed about this controller service. Okay, and the controller service will be storing the data or accessing the data which is already there in the database. As I already told you, controller service, what does it do? It will use the sensor, LDR sensor, to sense the intensity of light inside the room. Okay, whatever it is sensing, it will store the data in the database, or if the data which is already there in the database is required, it will access it back also. Okay, right. And then we have REST services. These are the web services. We have two web services now. One is mode and another one is state, which are accessed through endpoints. We have seen the endpoints also, URLs, right? Okay, these REST services will also access data from database to display them in the application. So we have the application also. So the database as well as the application as well as the web services, all these things are hosted by on a local server. Okay, local server which is inside the home. Okay, so we are not using any external storage or something else, external database or whatever hosting like that. So there is no use of cloud in this example. Okay, so that is the sixth step. After that, we will proceed to the next step, which is functional view specification. So what happens is, in this step there will be something called functional groups. That is, a functional group is a combination of similar functionalities. So different functionalities in the IoT system are grouped into functional groups. And if you see here, what does each functional group provide is, they provide functionalities for interacting with concepts in the domain model. So if you remember, this step is step 3. Domain model specification is step number 3. In that we have seen a big diagram where we are representing different concepts like physical entities, virtual entities, devices, resources and services. So those things interact with these functional groups. Okay, and we can also see information related to those concepts which we represented in the domain model specification. Okay, right. So what are the functional groups is, we have 6 functional groups: device group, communication group, services group, management group, security group, and finally application group. Actually we have discussed these things in the previous sessions also. I think you remember this diagram, we have already seen these things. So these are the 6 groups: management, application, services, security, communication and device. Okay, now in this step we will map the IoT level specification to these functional groups. So in this previous step we got the IoT level specification. Now we will map those things to these functional groups like this. So this is our IoT level specification. We have seen this just a few seconds back, right? Okay, now if you see here, the device which is the Raspberry Pi, it is linked to this device functional group. Okay, so the Raspberry Pi contains sensor, actuator and it's a computing device. Okay, and it is also linked to management functional group. Why? Because the management functional group, one of the functions is device management. Okay, so Raspberry Pi is a device, so that's why it is also linked to management group. Now next, let's consider resources. So resources can be two types. We have discussed this in the last section. Resource can be either network resource or on-device resource, right? So as an example for on-device resource, I told you that operating system which runs on Raspberry Pi is an example for on-device resource. That's why this is all linked to device functional group. Okay, and since we have network resource which is communication, that's why it is also linked to communication functional group. Okay, since we have communication protocols, we use these things also, right? Okay, And next thing is controller service. So if you see here, controller service is linked to application management. Okay, so user does not access this service directly. I already told you it is accessed indirectly, and it is a part of application management. Okay, and then we have the web services, REST web services. Uh, since it is a service, it is linked to services. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. The controller service is actually linked to services, not application management. Sorry. So both this controller service as well as REST web services, they are services, so they are linked to services subgroup. So here we have the native service, which is the controller service, and we have web services, which are these REST web services. Okay, right. And then we have this database. Now if you see this, for database we require security because the data is important, so it is linked to security functional group. And since it is uh, database is maintained in the server, that is why it is also linked to application functional group. So here we have database server, right? So that's why it is linked to application subgroup. And finally we have the application itself, which contains the user interface and all these things through which we manage the smart bulbs. Okay, so it is linked to management. Through application only we manage all the things, right? So it is linked to management. Okay, and it is also linked to application because we are developing a web application, that is the interface through which the user will access everything. And then we need security for the application. Okay, username password will be provided for logging in, so that's why it is also linked to security functional group, right? So this is about functional view specification, in which we take the IoT level specification and map it to the functional groups. And then we arrive at step number 8, which is operational view specification. So by step 7 we will have all the information. uh, we will have what are the services we will be developing, and database is needed or not. Either we are creating web application or desktop application, so you know everything. Now it's time to decide what technologies you will use for developing your application. Okay, so is there any service hosting required? So either it is local or cloud, you can choose now. uh, where to store the data, what database should I use, and what device should I use, and where to host my application. Okay, so now it's time to choose all these technologies. Okay, so this is the thing. So let's start with device layer, device functional group. So as I already told you, the computing device we are selecting is Raspberry Pi, and the sensor we are selecting is LDR. Okay, which will sense the light intensity. Okay, and the actuator we are choosing is relay, so using which we will turn on or off the bulb. Okay, uh, now let's see the communication protocols, the choices we are making. Communication API we are choosing REST based APIs. Okay, and if you look at communication protocols at the link layer, we are choosing 802.11. What is this 802.11? We are choosing Wi-Fi. Okay, 802.11 standard represents Wi-Fi. At the network layer, we are choosing either IP version 4 or IP version 6. At the transport layer, we are choosing TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, and at the application layer, we are choosing HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Now let's look at services. So services is given here. Native service, the name of the native service is controller service, and the web services, one is mode service and another one is state service, right? And then security. So if you say to look at security, security is provided to both web application as well as database. We are providing both authentication as well as authorization. And then you have management. So for application management, how are you developing the application is using Django. So what is Django? Django is a Python framework for creating web applications. Okay. So and database, we are using MySQL database, right? And device management, we are using Raspberry Pi. And final thing is application. So web application, we will use Django. Okay. And application server is a Django application server. That means on the server I will be running Django to host my web application, right? And the database server is MySQL. So this is the operational view specification. So at this step, what we are essentially doing is, for all the functional groups, we are choosing different technologies, right? Okay. And step 9 is device and component integration. Now you have chosen the devices Raspberry Pi and you have chosen the components. Now you have to just integrate them, that is put together like this. Okay, so this is the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi. Okay, and this is the LDR sensor, right? And this is relay, the actuator, which will turn on or off the bulb. Okay, so this is the device and component integration. And the last step is developing the software. Okay, in the previous step you have connected the hardware, and in this last step you will be developing the software or application. So this is the interface of the application, web application. Okay, so the user will have two options. One is to choose mode, okay, either on or off. So on means auto mode, off means manual mode, and this is state of the light bulb. Okay, so right now it is turned on, that means the light bulb is on. If you switch off, it will switch off. That is the thing, right? Okay, so we have seen from step 5 to step 6, step 10 in this session. So we have started here and we have seen the services, the mode service, the state service, and finally the controller service. Then we have seen the IoT level specification, which is like this. So everything is hosted locally. We are not using any cloud service. And then we have seen the functional view specification, where there are several functional groups. So we have total 6 functional groups, and we are mapping the IoT level specification to these functional groups. After this, we are seeing the operational view specification, where we will be choosing the technologies like this. And after that, we have seen device and component integration, where we will combine the hardware. And the last step is developing the software for the IoT system. Okay, so that's it about this IoT design methodology. So we have discussed IoT design methodology using home automation system. And weather monitoring system is left as an exercise to you. The material will be provided. So using that material, you can study about this weather monitoring system. So for weather monitoring system, we will have different sensors like temperature sensor, humidity sensor, and all these things. So number of sensors will increase, and the diagrams will be also a little bit complex. Okay, so it is left to you as a task. And in the next session, we will discuss about wireless protocols. So that's it for this session. Thank you.